I find myself a Democrat by default in this funny world we live in, and that's because it's boiled down to who do I hate least? I cannot help it. That's just the way it is. There is no other way that I can explain it as well. If the Republicans had been willing to walk the walk and not talk the talk, which they are really good at doing, talking the talk, they would have got behind Ron Paul back in 2008. But real change scares them sillier than they already are, which is saying a lot. The Mitt Romney and Karl Rove types, those representatives of the Mormon Church, who are the most powerful church in America today, whether anyone knows that or not, derailed the Ron Paul situation in 2008. They divided the Republican Party and allowed the Democrats to kind of semi quasi take over power, which they are trying desperately to uh, keep hold of now. Uh, I don't know exactly what is going to happen with all this, but I know one thing is for sure: the money being spent on television commercials by these perpetrators of ignorance and strife and hate and warfare goes well beyond any amount of money that the working man can even begin to understand as far as applying it to things that are in real life, paying the bills, putting food on the table. The people that spend all this money on warfare, that's where this money actually ends up going, are the people that are actually stealing the product of the people who are paying all this tax money and everything. And if the American people understood the amount of money that was pumped into the Middle East because of terrorism, they would, I'm sure, be appalled at the fact that all this hardship and hunger and even, shall we say, genocide here, deniable, but genocide nonetheless, uh, is actually just a part of the plan to rip them off. Now, if you look up in the sky, just look up in the sky. How hard is that to do? Can you do that? Can you say sky? Look up in the sky. These are not jet trails. These are not contrails. Contrails dissipate within 5 to 15 seconds because they're condensed water, ice crystals. These things that are being sprayed on you and have been sprayed hard and heavy since 911 are called chemical trails. There's a myriad patents and patents for the chemicals being used and being sprayed upon you. There's myriad patents for the application systems, some of which are called deagglomerating systems, because these powders that are being sprayed, these chemical powders, and they are many different types to achieve many different effects, are part of a program to take over the world's weather. Okay, to be quite blunt about it, to be straightforward, take over the world's weather. This will control the water. Once they control fresh water, then they can control the food, and this has been their, pardon the pun, wet dream for quite some time, is to control the food. Now, on a planet whose surface is covered by 70% water, they've done their best to engineer a water shortage. This ought to tell you right now that by controlling the media, by controlling the information sources, they can do anything. They can do anything to you. They can talk you into believing anything, especially if they're holding your meal ticket, which they are, and they don't let you forget that.